there yet, pay-per-view yet, unless maybe, which is the talk now, that you are next for Manny Pacquiao on pay-per-view in April in what is said to be his final fight. Your thoughts?
I'm ready. I'll make it happen. I'm ready. I'm gonna let my handlers, Cameron Duncan, Brian McIntyre, talk to Bob Arum and Team Pacquiao team, and let's see if we can make that happen.
And finally, how do you see a matchup of you, Terence Crawford versus Manny Pacquiao?
Just gotta watch it and see. It's gonna be a thing to see.
Thank you, bud. Congratulations.
Well, it looks like we know who Manny Pacquiao is going to be fighting. The date is April the 9th, 2016. You're going to have Manny Pacquiao versus Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford scored a 10th round knockout over 135, 140 pounder Dierry Jean in a fight where he pretty much fought 95% of the fight southpaw. One of the biggest skills of Terence Crawford, which makes him so good, is he can effortlessly switch to southpaw and basically look good, really good, undefeated doing it. I'm T-Street Controversy. This is T-Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. As I said, 10th round stoppage. Terence Crawford, WBO 140-pound champion, defending his title for the first time at 140. He's the two-division champion. Remember, he won the 135-pound title over in Scotland from Ricky Burns. And now he's fighting, you know, at 140. And it looks like his next fight is going to be at 147 pounds against Manny Pacquiao. It's pretty much looking like it's official. Bob Arum was in the audience. We all know that Terence Crawford was in the running. It was between Kell Brook, Amir Khan, Timothy Bradley III, and Terence Crawford. And now it seems as though they may have settled on Terence Crawford. Do I feel Terence Crawford can beat a Manny Pacquiao? Yes. Do I think he will beat a Manny Pacquiao? It all depends on if Manny Pacquiao was taking this as his last fight, as a fight to, how can I put it, just to get his contract over with so he can go into the Senate, or is he going to take this fight? Basically, it all depends on how seriously he's going to take this fight. And for some reason, I don't think Pacquiao is going to take this fight very seriously. He hasn't been taking his rehab on his shoulder very seriously. He hasn't been taking boxing very seriously, it seems, for quite some time. He did get the Floyd Mayweather fight, but Terence Crawford, very young, hungry fighter, very good. Also, he has the ability to be able to take away the strength of Pacquiao, which is Pacquiao's speed and being left-handed. Terence Crawford is a very good, patient fighter. He has a flaw where sometimes he does take right hands or punches that he shouldn't take, and 147 pounds is a different animal. It's a different beast. You know, this is a guy who's been fighting at 135. Well, he won championships at 135, but basically for a majority of his career at 140 pounds, even though Pacquiao would be considered the bigger fighter, Terence Crawford's going to come into the ring weighing maybe 160 pounds. I'm dead serious, because tonight he weighed in for the Dierry Jean fight at 140, but came into the ring at 156. So you can imagine that if he weighs in at 147, what he may come into the ring as. I'm going to say maybe between 156, maybe 158, something like that. I mean, he's a big guy, even though Dierry Jean only weighed in 1 pound below him coming into the ring at 155. Terence Crawford still was just so much bigger. He's a longer pause, you know, bigger fighter, just, you know, overall. And fighting at 147 against Manny Pacquiao, I know he's going to have a huge size advantage, and he's a good, solid overall boxer. So it's looking like that fight's going to be happening. Am I happy to see it? Yes, because why? At least we know Manny Pacquiao is fighting his last fight as a tough fight. He's not fighting an Andre Berto, you know, or nothing like that. He's fighting a fight where he's actually, if he loses, going to be passing the torch. And I know the way Bob Arum, Top Rank, feels is that they're not going to let Pacquiao just sail off into the sunset with a fight that he can easily win. You know, so if he is going to retire, they're saying, well, hey, listen, you're going to have to pass the torch to somebody. And when it comes to Terence Crawford, him fighting at 147 pounds, there's so many big fights you could make for him there. For example, I would love to see Terence Crawford versus Ruslan Provodnikov. I would love to see a Terence Crawford versus a Juan Manuel Marquez. I would love to see a Terence Crawford versus a Timothy Bradley, Terence Crawford versus a Brandon Rios. And then you also have fights out there at 140 pounds with Terence Crawford versus a Victor Postol, Terence Crawford versus a Lucas Matisse, Terence Crawford versus an Amir Imam. So the future is pretty bright for Terence Crawford, and also he has that big fan base in Omaha where they actually said 11,000 people was in attendance, and that's pretty damn good for Omaha, and also a fighter who's not known to be, you know, a trash talker. But see, you know, like, will I say he's going to beat Pacquiao? It all depends on how seriously Pacquiao is going to take this fight. Is he going to say, well, you know, this is my last fight, I'm just going in there and just trying to fight for the fans, win or loss, I'm going to give it my best? Or is Pacquiao going to go in there with the eye of the tiger, knowing that he didn't put up a good performance against Floyd Mayweather, and actually go out there and say, I'm going to take this fighter's So you have to give respect to Manny Pacquiao no matter how you slice it, because if this is his last fight, he's fighting one hell of a tough last fight in Terence Crawford, even though Terence Crawford's going to be moving up a weight class 2 fighting. So I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. Terence Crawford is just good. Dierry Jean lost every single round. Knocked down twice. Tony Weeks stopped it. Dierry Jean, the best punch he was distributing throughout the fight was the overhand right, and he was only firing that in desperation, kind of like when Andy Lee is about to get beat up or knocked down. He starts firing that left hand at that right hand like crazy. But Dierry Jean really just was overmatched. You know, Terence Crawford is just too good. And I'm actually glad that now he's moving up to pay-per-view level or fighting superstars now, because that's where he needs to be at this point in time in his career. So even after Pacquiao, if it is Pacquiao, like I said, there's so many more big fights you can make for him, and we don't have to worry about him fighting the guys like Dierry Jean. T Street Controversy, I would love to see him versus Adrian Broner. I would love to see him versus an Omar Figueroa, but those fights can't happen, I know, because of political and promotional reasons. But T Street Controversy Live, please subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, all my social media is right down below in the description box. T Street Controversy Live.